Morning, guys. Matt Bull here, Director of Coaching at Action Coach in Loughborough. Here today to talk about lockdown leadership, the first in a series of 20 lessons, making sure that you can lead effectively no matter where your people are. Now, these videos are going to be very short, 3 to 4 minutes each, giving you a daily lesson in what it means to be a leader during this lockdown period. And over the course of the next 20 days or so, we're going to be covering some fundamental aspects that we know to be true as leaders anyway, but making them relevant to where we are now. So what are we going to be covering over the course of the next few days? How to lead differently. The concepts of leadership are very similar to what they've always been. It is not groundbreaking stuff. It is just different. How leading remotely requires more influence than command. We do not have that physical presence at the moment. We do not have the ability to manage our people as well and effectively as we are used to. It therefore becomes more around how we can influence the behaviors that we want to see. We're going to talk about the 3O model, outcomes, others, and ourselves, and also look at the remote leadership model, using technology as a tool to make our businesses better, as opposed to looking at technology as being a barrier to the way our businesses operate. And finally, we'll look at the servant leadership mindset. So, lesson 1, leadership first, location second. Do not let the fact that your people are not with you detract from the fact that you need to be a leader. That should be in the forefront of your mind. Leadership is the cornerstone of any successful business, and it has never been more true than it is now. The timeless principles of leadership do not change. They haven't changed. And as we've said many times before over the last week or so, the spotlight is on your ability to lead your teams now. You are a point of stability for them at the moment. The updates you provide them, the communication that you provide them will not only have an impact from their security, from their job perspective, but also for their wider personal mental health. These principles have always been in place, but as we say, they haven't changed. So from a leadership perspective, we're saying here that the principles haven't changed. However, there are questions that we have to ask ourselves as leaders to make sure we're being as effective as we can. And we think these are the 4 key areas that you should be considering as a leader at the moment. First one, obvious one, how do we know that people are really working? The previous way we worked was people came into the office and we saw them, or they were present for 9 hours. The key bit now is, what are the results that we expect people to produce on a daily basis? So we're talking here about setting daily intentions in the morning, checking in at lunchtime, and then people reporting on their outcomes at the end of the day. Results focused working has never been more important. Are people getting enough social interaction? A key part of being in an office environment, in a business environment, is that social interaction, the little bits around not working together, how people's weekends were, how people are feeling generally. That has gone from a lot of people now. So we need to make sure that's being brought in. A lot of people are doing a lunch just to take away the pure business focus of how they're operating remotely. Are we getting good feedback when we need to consider options? The Zoom environment, the virtual working environment fundamentally shifts the aspect of a team environment. The boss sitting there saying, right guys, let me have your feedback, with 20 people on a call, doesn't elicit the same amount of feedback that it would have if it was in a meeting room environment, for example. So we need to ensure that the forums are in place, whether it be through things like Microsoft Teams, Slack, where people can just take the time to consider what their response is and then feed it back. So we may need to adjust the way that we inform our decision-making process to give individuals a chance to consider the options and feedback in an appropriate way, what we'd expect. And finally, think about how effective you were when you were co-located. How can you be as effective as you were when you were working together? And actually, how can you be even more effective than you were then? The spotlight that this creates from a remote working perspective means that we have to ensure our social interaction is structured. We have to ensure that we understand what our people are delivering each day. And we have to ensure that the feedback we're getting for the decisions we're making, we have the buy-in from the team. This will make us better leaders. It will make our businesses more effective. So we have to ensure that this opportunity is taken to make our business come out of lockdown far more effective than it was going into it. Love to get any questions you've got on this first lesson. As I say, we've got 20 lessons to cover that we've been covering on a daily basis over the coming weeks. Have a great day, everyone.